So if you're a video gamer like myself, Bosh, are you a video gamer?
I,
I,
yeah, I dabble from time to time.
you dabble a little bit
A
of
little,
a Among Us here and there.
little bit of a chungus here and there. Yeah.
So, well, if you're a gamer, you might be having a hard time finding a PlayStation 5. You might be wondering why that is. Well, I mean, one of the obvious answers is we're in a pandemic. So production lines have been slowed down, obviously. And shipping is impacted as well. So there's no doubt that that's having and of course it's a very hot item. It's very, very much in demand. I mean, when you say, I mean, I want a PS5.
Yeah, I would certainly say so. I
Yeah, but there seems to be another factor as well.
want to play Demon
One
Souls.
that, yeah, one that is being reported on finally, and that's the issue of scalpers. Okay, just people that act as middlemen or middlemen's middlemen that come in and they buy up whatever stock there is that just freshly comes in. They use all sorts of different methods, bots, in order to try to beat people, and to be able to order these, and then they go and they resell it at a substantial markup. I've seen it as high as $1,100, $1,300 for just for a PS5 with like maybe a crappy game or one of the good games, Miles Morales perhaps, and so it pisses a lot of people off. I'm pissed off. I can't get a PS5. I want a PS5. I tried to get one yesterday, couldn't get one. Kind of irritating, man.
Yeah,
But
I want to play Demon Souls. Once I
yeah,
play Demon Souls, I will have played every Soulsborne game, Soulsborne Kiro game. And
true.
I've 100%ed all of them so far, I think. So, we gotta get through it.
Yeah, you were doing Bloodborne the other day.
Yeah, I'm great at that game. The logic of Bloodborne, the movement, it's just not. Dark Souls is so much more intuitive to me. Even
Yeah.
Sekiro is more intuitive to me. There's something about the movement in Bloodborne that just feels unnatural to me. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm playing it in a console at 30 FPS instead of on my computer at 60. Maybe that means something to my lizard brain. Yeah, I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I don't know. I don't think it makes too much of a difference. I mean, 30 FPS versus I mostly game myself on computer, but I still want a PS5 for those exclusives.
Yeah.
But these goddamn scalpers are getting in the way, and yet they want us to feel sorry for them for being maligned.
So I have two thoughts on this. Okay. On one
Sure.
hand, so I have two thoughts on this. Scalping is basically an inevitable consequence of um, demand exceeding supply. That as
Sure.
long as more people demand a thing than is available, there's always going to be a market for people to price that up on the scalp end. It's like
Hmm.
that's not like it's not a matter of individuals being morally bad. It's a matter of this is the inevitable consequence of that, unless there's some kind of policy thing that prevents scalping. But even then, good fucking luck preventing
Yeah,
scalping.
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good luck legislating that.
Sure.
The real goal here, of course, should be to make sure that the demand is appropriately met with supply. And you also have the
Yep.
fact that if they could get away with it, Sony probably would have priced the initial run of their PS5s at $2,000
Right.
for the people who would want to get it early, even if it cost them a tremendous amount. But the only reason they don't do that is because optically that would look terrible and people would
Mhm.
lambast them in the press, so they won't do it. But
Right.
really, all the scalpers are doing is using the fact that they don't have a reputation that means anything to get away with pricing these closer to the equilibrium supply demand point. However, that means that they must necessarily adopt themselves the
Hmm.
optical hit that Sony would have taken if they had been the one to engage in tiered pricing from the beginning. So if you're scalping, sure, you may be fulfilling an economic market reality,
Niche.
but people are going to call you cunts for it, like they would have called Sony cunts if they had done
True.
exactly what you're doing. That's the price. You want to make money scalping? Okay, people are going to hate you for it. That's as much a natural way of things as the process of scalping itself. So I don't know
Hmm.
what the hell they have to complain about.
Yet they're complaining. So let
Yeah,
me go to Forbes here, the famously liberal rag Forbes. It's an inside joke. Um, Here's what Jordan, one individual, this is in the UK, obviously. who co-founded a group known as The Lab. They said there seems to be a lot of bad press on this incredibly valuable industry, and I do not feel that it is justified. All we are acting as is a middleman for limited quantity items. According to Jordan, buying 25 PlayStation 5s and reselling them for about $850 a pop. They put this in euros. So about 700 euros, where the base retail price is about 450 euros or about 500 bucks, is no different than a retailer buying milk from a wholesaler at a low price before reselling it at a higher price.
So there's a problem with that. And that's that the retailer is providing a service that scalpers are not. What retailers do is they take all of these wholesale bulk items and they assemble them together in a grocery store that has staff that work there. It keeps them all at an appropriate temperature and it collects them all for simple and centralized use. Whereas the act of buying a PS5 from Sony, and the act of buying a PS5 from a scalper are functionally identical. You aren't providing any additional utility to the consumer. All you're doing is upping the price. I mean, yeah, like, this is just, it's not, it's it's bitch babying. It's baby bitching is what it is. If this is how it works. Chat, you get to see the screen, okay, but Jeff can't because it's the life. Okay, so you have to settle on what you expect as a price, a fair price for a game console, okay? Let's say we settle on 500, which is pretty pricey historically, but game consoles are getting pretty cool, so whatever, we'll set on 500, okay? That's an acceptable, reasonable price. However, initial demand is like not nearly enough to meet supply, not even close, which means that as we follow the supply demand curve, there should be a smaller number of people equal to the existing supply that would be willing to pay for a higher cost to get that product. So those people may be willing to pay more, but Sony can't price it at a higher value because that'll entail an optical hit. So if there is an optical hit associated with that market transaction, what scalpers do is they take the benefit of providing these products and price gouging them, or not price gouging, sorry, and price gating them to that community. And they do so for whatever, 800, 1,000, whatever. And that's fantastic. And they also take the optical hit. And that's fair. I don't understand why anyone should have a problem with that. That seems like like, Jeff, what do you think? Like, doesn't that seem like a natural...
Well, look, being a scalper, you're still being kind of a dick, though. It's still a dick move.
No, that's what I mean. It is. Yeah, sure, it is. Just like it would be a dick move if Sony did it. So they absorbed the hate, you know?
Right, and they should be happy with the hate because they're making money from it.
Yeah. And by the way, there are some people who do this gotcha too, where it's like, they'll say like, oh, well, isn't that the same as buying wholesale from another person and selling at your own store? If that's done in a way where you're not providing additional utility to the consumer, then yeah, in a way that is, it's not scalping, but yeah, you are being destructive. You're not contributing meaningfully to the economic process. You're just making more money. You're a middleman.
A middleman of a middleman.
Right.
That's essentially what it is. Again, adding absolutely no utility to it. And so now, again, they're complaining about it. They're being absolute baby bitches about it. And then they add in that, hey, you know what? You should be nicer to us because sometimes we donate to charity.
Well, that's good for them.
Good. Without any sort of evidence that they actually do that.
Why do they even care? Scalpers don't use their real names, do they?
I don't know. I don't know, actually.
Like what is this like? Is this going to come up when you Google their like resumes in the future? What do they care? Where are they getting this negativity? Like internet comment forums? Like how is this affecting them in any way?
I know, right? They're just incredibly salty because there are numerous articles coming out and saying, "Oh, scalper bad, scalper bad." Well, we're not bad. We're donating to charity. We helped grandma cross the street. Okay, we may have charged her $25, but we helped her cross the street.
hold on. Vosh, scalpers do add utility because they ensure that people who may not have been able to get a console to get one. Scalpers don't produce more PS5s. Scalpers, by upping the price, prevent people who may have otherwise been able to get the PS5 at its original price from getting one. You're not making more PS5s. You're
Right.
just making sure that only the wealthy people can get them. You're not. You, I mean, you're not increasing the number of people who receive a PS5. You're just profiting off of your ability to ensure that only wealthy people or people who want it more can get it, you know? But
Yeah.
even that, it's not necessarily people who want it more, okay? There are tons of people who want a PS5 more than anything else in the world who can't afford to pay a scalper's
Right.
price. And there are tons of people who are super wealthy and who would be willing to pay a scalper's price, even though they personally don't care that much. Willingness to pay and desire for the item are not necessarily the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
And also what they're doing too, and this should be stressed a little bit more. They're using unfair practices in order to do it. They're using, again, bots in back end information from retailers. When they get these PlayStations in, they monitor those. They have their bots go in and be able to order them faster than anyone else can. And so
Yeah,
that's,
and in that case, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, the person said again, otherwise it would literally just be up to luck to get a console? Yeah. If 1,000 people want an X item and there's only 100 X item, I think it would be preferable for it to be based on luck rather than a botnet immediately scooping up all of the limited edition items and then reselling them back at 3 times their price. I don't know how that's morally better. I mean, yeah, leave it up to luck. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, well, it's already been about luck. I mean, saying like you could go to your local Meijer or Walmart and be in a line with like 6 people and there's only 5 PS5s left. Well, the time that you got there, luck, right? Oh, maybe you hit a stoplight on the way there and it prevented you from being the 5th person in line. Instead, you were the 6th person in line.
Yeah, you could do that logic with anything. What if every time
Exactly.
you went to the grocery store, every single item had a bidding war going on, and the fewer items there were, the higher the bidding war trended up? Like, sometimes I think it's okay to just be like, well, I didn't get to the store on time to get X, rather than like seeing like an auctioneer like $1,000 for the ketchup bottle. Like I don't know. You can apply that logic in a lot of ways.
And these people are just being just ridiculous middlemen and getting in the way and just making the situation worse because again you're driving up the price for, again, I know something that is limited in stock, and that's not always going to be the case, but scarcity and all at this point, but still you're artificially inflating it more than it should be, and it just seems like it's incredibly unfair and very dickish, and to expect then an apology for being called out is just even more ridiculous.
I just don't understand why they're upset. I don't even know. What people are being mean. What did you think you're scalping? What did you think was going to happen? Do you think people would be like happy about it? Of course. There are people who wanted a PS5 and wanted to take a shot at being able to get it at 500, but now they're not going to be able to and they're mad about it. Like, what do you want? Jesus.
Yeah. One more quote here from, right? Mm-hmm. Both Reagan and Jordan say that they are ultimately helping people by giving them financial opportunities. So apparently they've hired people. They've created a little business around this, okay? They say that they're helping their employees give financial opportunities to resell consoles at their inflated price. I mainly just try and help others now. That's all that really matters to me.
However they like to justify it to themselves.
Wow.
I wish they would just be forthcoming. Like, I saw an economic vacuum that I could make money from, so I did. There you go.
I'm playing capitalism. Call it super capitalism, if you will. I'm playing capitalism, and it works. So you want to get mad at me? Fine, but I'm going to sit there and now jump into my money Scrooge McDuck style with both middle fingers extended. Don't care. I'll do it again. At least be honest. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.